My journey to psychic development went like this. First and foremost, healing all my childhood trauma with shadow work was the most important thing. The first year I was doing shadow work, it was really difficult because it was almost like I was reliving and re-experiencing all the pain that I went through during the traumatic experience again. I honestly didn't want to do anything. I was really tired. I felt pretty depressed. All I wanted to do was stay home and isolate myself from the entire world. But at the same time, me isolating made me want to actually get closer to the divine and develop my relationship with my spirit guide and also archangels. I spent a ton of my time reading books about psychic development, past life regression, medical intuition, how to recognize your guides, how to talk to your guides, like you name it. I read so many books. During this time, I also began learning tarot, and I also began a meditation practice. I would meditate literally almost every single day for that whole year. As a kid, I knew that I had spiritual gifts and psychic abilities. I had a lot of dreams that would come true, whether they were symbolic or actual. I sort of understood the symbolism of the dream, and the dream just came true. I also had this really weird ability where I would be at the line at A&W, for example, and right before someone was about to order, I would hear that entire person's order through and through before they actually said it out loud to the cashier. This would happen to me all the time. I could hear and understand what animals were trying to say, and I could also see and feel spirits around me. At the time, I didn't realize that these were my psychic abilities, but looking back now, it's like crystal clear that was my psychic abilities. As I grew up, I started to turn this knob, my psychic knob, down a little bit because the world doesn't teach us how to develop our gifts, but also all the trauma that I went through made me really distrust my intuition. And so I had filters over my intuition. And if we have that, and we're not really able to listen to spirit, healing the trauma was really what made me start to trust my intuition again, because I removed those filters that skewed my ability to trust myself. It's also super important to read about your gifts. If you're interested, make sure to hop on Amazon and read as many books as you can. Also have spiritual gifts. Think back to how you used them as a child. This will give you a lot of insight into how to use them now. It's very, very similar. It's almost identical, actually. I still use my gifts the same way that I did when I was a kid. But the difference is, as a kid, I would just use them, and it was like I was not consciously trying to use them. It was natural and just coming from my subconscious or unconscious. And I just could see, hear, feel, and know that it was another message. But as a kid, I didn't register that spirit. It was just, I just thought it was normal to see other worlds and other beings. Really think back to how you use them as a kid if you're struggling to reconnect with how to use your gifts. And so the other important thing to know is that it does take time to relearn and rediscover how to use our gifts. So take a lot of time in practice, develop a daily spiritual routine, because this will help you strengthen your intuition. Because strengthening our intuition is like we're turning the knob up, we're turning the dial up on wanting to use our gifts the more we practice. Those are my biggest tips. Do your healing, do your regular daily spiritual practice, and learn about your gifts. Read as much as possible. I can also help you develop your spiritual gifts if you visit drpsychic.ai and book a 60-minute psychic reading with me. I can tune in and see what your gifts are, and together we can work together to help you learn how to use them. Thanks so much.